This is one of my community tanks. It has inside of it my very oldest fish that I have. They're approaching 30 years old. I have the exact numbers somewhere, but until I put the giant Daniels into this aquarium, I had a real nice breeding colony of Ancestris plecostomus. They were successfully breeding in the tank, and behind all these tiles and PVC plastic tubes that are in the back. One of my very oldest fish is this one here. I believe that it's a petricola, a leopard petricola. No, not a petricola, Synodontis, leopard Synodontis. I have it set up so that he feels like he's hiding where he is at the end of the tank. I give him food right there, and he just is content to stay. I have a striped Raphael catfish in that tube in the back there. You can see a little bit of his tail. They're not much for showing off kind of fish, but they're amongst the oldest fish. This fish here is probably that fish. I'm not sure how old it was. I got it as an adult. This one here was just a baby when I got it back, I think, in the 1980s. And over here in this end of the tank there's a PVC pipe, and that has a white spotted gourd in it. It's also sort of like a Raphael catfish. I'll give guys a little bit of food and see if I can get a little feeding behavior out of them that's interesting. I use flake food, shrimp fillets. Alright, John Daniels will go to town on that. And then there's some shrimp pellets. I give the plecostomus these pellets because I've found, as many people have found, that Ancestris plecostomus and other plecostomus do much better if you feed them and make sure that they get food. These young plecostomus, the small ones that are about 2 inches long, are probably 7 or 8 months old. I really like plecostomus. Now, because I use under gravel filters extensively, I'm able to keep this many fish successfully in a 50-gallon tank, and I have very, very low mortality rates in this tank. These giant Daniels have been in here for, must be almost a year now. I raised them from let's see, I think I bought 4 giant Daniels about this size, not very big, from Walmart, and they were like about $2 a piece, and so I thought, I'll just get 4 of them, and I brought them home, and they started spawning, and I was really surprised. I had them in a species-only tank downstairs, and they laid eggs. I saw them doing the spawning behavior, but then the eggs hatched, and they were little tiny, little itty-bitty things on the side of the glass tank, and I was afraid that, and I'm sure that the giant Daniels would have eaten their young as soon as they became free swimming. But so I caught all 4 of the giant Daniels and brought them upstairs and put them in with, I figured that was they were healthy enough to spawn. They would probably not carry any diseases that they might have from Walmart into my tanks. And so I brought some of them, put them up into this aquarium here, and then I thought I'll put some into this aquarium here. And then I gave about 10 of them away to my daughter-in-law for her aquariums. That was one of the clown loaches and zebra bodies. This is another one of those. And that's something that happens with Syndontis petricola catfish. They get into some pretty vicious fights, and the males will cause physical damage to each other. And then, of course, up here is another tank. I put some of my baby giant Daniels from that one spawn into this tank up here. This has some really big, beautiful Ancestris Plecostomus. Look at the size of that thing. Beautiful spiny nose. This one here, very interesting bristle nose Ancestris Plecostomus. One of my very best specimens. I like its goldish brown color. It's really nice. And then there's this other quite large Ancestris. See a little female back here on the back. This tank here has just too many fish in it to not enough cover for any successful spawning. When the petricola spawn, there's some of this fish here has some damage on its side from a fight that it's gotten into. It's just got too much, I don't know, there's so many fish in this tank that others would just fight and damage each other, but I'm not worried about them. These are all Syndontis that I raised myself. I may still have the original 3 adults somewhere in my tank, but I traded some angelfish for Syndontis petricola catfish, and I guess the rest is history. Right now I've got a little breeding colony down in the basement downstairs, and they're actually succeeding in reproducing again. I have a little trick that I use to separate them from their eggs. I put a plastic grating it's a white grating that they use on fluorescent lights. Bought it at Walmart. No, Home Depot. And I put that above the gravel, and then I put rocks on top of it, and I make a very secure environment for the Syndontis catfish to swim above the grating. And then they inevitably eggs that they can't eat that drops through the grating, and the little Syndontis catfish eat any excess food that falls through the grating when I feed the catfish food. I might just show you some of that in another video I have. Well, I think that this pretty much is a fine video update of 4 of my tanks in the front room. The koi. This is an experimental thing. I wanted to see if it's true, if they can survive in a tank that's way too small for even one koi to survive in. And these fish look healthy as all get out to me. And they are healthy. I've had fish for more than, oh my gosh, 60 years now. Wow. I started out with guppies. Guppies are wonderful fish. I just don't keep them anymore. Oh, here's one of my clown loaches. It's probably 10 years old. They love all the hiding places I have in this aquarium. They come out and swim around. He's begging for food. I'll give him some food here in a few minutes. Oh, there's the other one. He's getting ready to hide behind. Nothing's scaring them. They just like to hide. It's their behavior. This guy's in this corner here. I think that's one of the secrets to keeping fish, is to have them in a stress-free, comfortable environment where they can hide if they feel like it, and come out if they feel like it. I don't raise plants in my aquariums. It's obvious, isn't it? Not enough light. I just have a single 4-foot fluorescent light tube for each one of my aquariums. It's perfect lighting for the animals, not enough lighting for almost every kind of plant.